There's a lot of talk about freedom these days. Most of it sounds confident, inspiring, and very certain. People say freedom means being yourself, taking off your masks, finally being authentic, as if somewhere out there is a pure version of you waiting to be released. For a long time, I believed that too. It feels comforting to think that freedom is something external, something you can reach, something you can finally become if you try hard enough. But the more I paid attention to how life actually works, the more I started to realize that this idea sounds better than it actually functions. Because the truth is, we're always inside a context. We're always somewhere with someone, inside a system that already existed long before we arrived. There are rules, spoken and unspoken, expectations, roles, patterns, and inside any context, whether we like it or not, we adapt. We adjust our tone, our posture, our words, our reactions, not because we are fake, not because we are dishonest, but because this is how social life survives. We are not just individuals, we are participants, and participation always comes with roles. You play a role at work. Even if you love your job, even if you chose it freely, you play a role in your family, even when you feel safe, even when you feel understood. You play a role with friends, even in moments that feel relaxed and natural. Even silence can be a role. Even the version of you that says, "I do not care what people think," is still shaped by what people think. Everyone plays roles, even those who believe they do not. And maybe the biggest illusion is believing that freedom means escaping those roles completely. For a long time, we were told that authenticity is the answer, that freedom begins the moment we remove all masks. But I don't think masks are the real problem. I think the real problem is that most of the time, we do not realize we are wearing them. We move through life on autopilot. We wake up, repeat routines, use the same phrases, react in the same ways, follow patterns without questioning them. Not because we consciously choose to do so, but because it feels familiar and safe. And when life runs on autopilot, there is very little freedom. Freedom requires awareness, and autopilot removes it. At some point, I realized something very quietly, not during a dramatic moment, not after a big decision, not after a major change. It happened during an ordinary day, one that looked like many others. I noticed that even when I thought I was being my real self, I was still adjusting, still calibrating, still choosing what to show and what to keep inside. And instead of feeling disappointed or frustrated, I felt relieved, because it meant I could stop chasing a version of freedom that does not really exist. You cannot be completely authentic in society, not because society is wrong, but because society is built on coordination, not raw truth. Raw truth is often too heavy, too sharp, too chaotic to move easily between people. So the question stopped being, how do I remove all my roles, and slowly became, do I know when I am playing one? That awareness changed everything. Because the moment you see the role clearly, it loses some of its power. You still play it, you still participate, you still adapt, but it no longer owns you completely. You are no longer trapped inside it without knowing. That is the kind of freedom I believe in. Not freedom from the system, but freedom inside it. A freedom that exists mostly in your mind. You cannot really show it to others. You cannot post it, you cannot prove it. Because the moment you try to show it, you are already performing again. And that is not a failure. That is simply how things work. Freedom is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It happens quietly, in moments when you notice yourself about to react automatically and you pause. In moments when you see a familiar pattern and recognize it clearly, even if you still follow it. Sometimes you do, sometimes you do not. The difference is awareness. You do not stop playing roles. You just stop confusing them with who you are. And the only place where you can be fully authentic, without adjustment, without performance, without explanation, is inside, with no audience, no expectations, no reaction. Just you noticing yourself. That kind of freedom is quiet. It does not feel revolutionary. It does not change your life overnight, but it creates space, and in that space, life feels a little lighter. You do not need to escape society to find it. You do not need to change your life. You do not need to remove all masks. You just need to notice, and sometimes that is more than enough. You can listen again or simply let the words pass. The language will come with time.